right here. I don't. Oh, I can share my screen up here. Oh, yeah. Say that. There we go. Happy to be here. All right. I was hoping I was going to be able to do that because I was going to be sad if I couldn't. But peace, peace, y'all. Welcome to the Lions Gate 888. Happy 888, everybody. We love it here. We love it here. Thank you, guys. So I wanted to talk to you guys about, let's like a little, give you guys a little backdrop about the number 8, you know, the 888 energy, some information on these stars that are aligning. You know, a lot of people are celebrating 888 and they don't fully understand. Hey, Nola, they don't fully understand or understand why. And I just, I would like to help you out with that. Can I help y'all out with that? And then, of course, I'm going to do a collective reading. Also, you already know how it goes. If you would like a personal reading, go ahead and put your name in the chat and be like, hey, give me a personal reading. I would like a personal reading. How's your day going, Nola? How are you? I am live on multiple platforms, just in case it looks funny that I'm talking in multiple spaces. But I go live on multiple spaces at one time. Where is my paper? So many papers. Where's the one that I'm looking for? I think it's so as you guys know, 8 is the number of transformation. Hey, Big Show. Hey, Ruggery. Hey, y'all. 8 is the number of transformation. 8 is the number of death and rebirth. When we deal with 8, we usually think about the solar plexus chakra, as 8 is usually associated with Scorpio. Scorpio rules over the 8th house. Hello, Nancy. Hey, Empress. Hey, Bobby. Kelly. Peace, peace, y'all. Hey, Summer. Yes, so that's what 8 usually deals with. It usually deals with, transformations, death, and rebirth. The solar plexus chakra is the chakra of enforcement. We're enforcing our internal law. Hello, David. How you doing, beloved? Our internal law is usually in alignment wherever we are on the spectrum with Maya, right? In this space of Scorpius energy, we learn to be loyal, goal-oriented, lovingly sensitive, being mindful of being not forgiving and jealous, right? In the astrocartography world, y'all want to get into that of what the 8 rules over. Hello, George. Pluto brings big changes, transformation and growth, upheavals, extreme and destructive face fears. If you look on your astrocartography chart, this is where your traumas lay at. Hey, George, welcome. I just so happen to live on my Pluto line. It's trauma over here. But I don't like that T word. I use challenges. It's a lot of challenges over here and forcing me to align myself, right? So when we get into the energy of Oya, or the number 8, right? 8 is also associated with Horus. That's the sky god, practical and wise leaders, being motivator and inspirational, a hard worker, being courageous, ambitious, optimistic. And we actually enter the energy of Horus from the 12th to the 19th of August, just to let y'all know. Let me keep going through my notes of things. I'm trying to find the notes of what Oya rules over on the map. Pull it up for me. Angola, Lebanon, Panama, Zambia, Cambodia, Finland, Bavaria, Norway, Morocco, Queensland, Korea, Syria, and Transvaal. The cities are, hey Gary, Baltimore, Cincinnati, New Orleans, Liverpool, Newcastle, and Washington, D.C., which is really fun. Hold on a second. Hello, Julie. Hey, y'all. So yeah, when we deal with the eighth sphere, so this is like a connection between the throat chakra and the solar plexus chakra, because we kind of have like a back and forth between Mercury and Aries, well, Mars and Pluto here. So when you deal with the eighth sphere in the tree of life, we're dealing with the energy of Sebek. Sebek is actually associated with Mercury, which is your throat. We know Mercury rules over the throat chakra, but Mercury, like, you utilize your throat chakra to really enforce what you want in your space. Peace. How you doing, love? We utilize your throat chakra to enforce the things that you want into your space and how you want it in your space, right? So when we get into that energy of Sebek, we're dealing with the fifth act of creation. So there's a connection between the 8 and the 5. When you look at the tree of life, and I could pull that up because I can share my screen on here. So if you look at the eighth sphere of the tree of life, that energy of Sebek, you'll notice that it is connected to Herakuhuti, which is 5 up here. All right. Sebek deals with that enforcement, that solar plexus chakra. Hello. No catfish. I couldn't read for a second. Jeez, y'all be getting me with these names. And then we see that this is also Had in the Kabbalah, which is associated with Mercury. Thank you for the follow, beloved. So while we're creating transformations, you create transformations with your solar plexus chakra, with your enforcement of the things that you want. And you enforce the things that you want by speaking into existence the things that you want, which is why Mercury is associated here, because you're speaking what you want into existence. The eighth sphere is a sphere of information. This deals with opposing forces, labeling, the left brain, being the celestial technician, right? So it's a celestial technician because they're like enforcing what you want in alignment with where you are with Mayat, which is in connection with the Jabora that goes up to that Chesed energy. Jabora, the fifth sphere right here, it goes into Chesed, which was when we get into Mayat. So you have Mercury here, you have Mars here, and then you have the Jupiter Mayat here. So they connect to each other. Cool. Hey, the calm one. How you doing? Peace, Bruce. Hey, Linda. Welcome. If you would like a reading, you could go ahead and put your name in the chat and I'll give you a reading at the end. Right now we're talking about the 888. I'm good. How you doing? How's it going? So the eighth sphere also deals with, species and variations are formed here. So you get into classifications, which according to Metunetter, that is where man's ill lies. We get so caught up in the divisions and the classifications of things, we don't really try to go outside of that. Hey Cam, how you doing, beloved? We don't try to go too far outside of the divisions. We allow them to create the lines in the mud, and we don't come back together as one. So we have to work on that, because it's really about separating the whole into parts, but that doesn't make it, stop from being a whole. Like, you have slices, but the slices are still a part of the pizza. Don't get it twisted. You have a slice of pizza. You have a demographic of the whole. I'm good. How you doing? How's your day going? Peace, catch my vibe. Hey John. Hey Bruce. So Sebek is also, the energy of information, which Mercurian energy is all about what you teach, what you learn, how you listen, how you speak, your moral integral code, your rituals and your habits and stuff like that. All of that is in alignment with Sebek. Species and variations are formed here. Celestial workers take shape here. And this is a big one, experiencing reality versus believing acquired info. So a lot of people in our world, a lot of humans in our world, like we read a lot of books, right? We read a lot of books, watch a lot of TV, whether it's informational, news, CNN, or you watch a lot of movies that invoke your comprehension skills, your theory skills, and all those things like that. You come to your own conclusions with that information. But a lot of us don't experience things. We don't go out in the world and have our own experiences. We allow these books and these movies and these television shows and other people to tell us what we would experience if we do these certain things. And so that's what Sebek creates, is like that division between the information that you acquire versus the things that you actually know and you experience. Hello, Bobby. How you doing, love? Hey, Karen. So having that division and knowing, okay, I read these books on these things, but I don't really know this. I just acquired this information. I acquired these words. I ingested these words and they make sense to me versus, oh, I've actually experienced this and I was actually here and this really happened and stuff like that. There's a big difference between the two, which is why, Gemini and Virgo are in Mercury ruled by Sebek. They both are ruled by Sebek. Because Gemini energy is that energy of curiosity and adventurous energy. Like, I'm gonna go touch the fire to see if it's really hot. I read about how hot it is, but let me go find out. Or I'm gonna go do these science experiments to see da da da. And that's why, like, Virgo energy is the energy of the crossroads, and they believe in equality and touching all the realms at the same time. Again, remembering, just because we have divisions and classifications, we're still part of a whole. And Gemini has that same energy of where they could be like flexible, and but they can also get too flexible to where they're being unfocused, because they have a tendency to be like either or, instead of like, oh, I could be both, or maybe being like, knowing a bunch about everything instead of being a master of one and knowledge of some. You know what I'm saying? Just finding that balance between those two energies of Virgo and Gemini will help you tremendously with the Mercury, John. And that's why, like, a lot of people front rule by that eighth of Beck or Mercury, or has that in their sun. Peace, Barry, how you doing? They are considered like, hypocrites, or they contradict themselves a lot, or they do one thing and they say another, or whatever, what have you. Is because of that realization that, like, I can know these things, but once I'm experiencing it, it's something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, the effects of smoking and stuff, but once you're experiencing it, you feel something different. It doesn't stop you from smoking. It doesn't stop you from eating certain things or going certain places and stuff like that. So it's like, being contradictory, having that balance of contradiction and stuff like that, knowing experiences behind words, having actions aligned with your claims and beliefs. This energy is associated with Had. And I told you that Had is Mercury, that is Sebek, that is Mercury. It's all right here on the left side, right? And this is beneath Javora, which is Heracahudi, which is severity. That's when we get into Mars and Pluto. And I'll talk about Mars and Pluto in a bit, because I know Pluto is 8. It deals with the 8th house. That's the house of transformation, death, and rebirth. Supreme mathematics always associates Oya or Scorpio energy with the number 8. But we're dealing with the 8th sphere, and the Sephiros deals with Mercury or Sebek. So coming back down to Sebek, this is also the left of Netzach, which is victory. This is when we get into Heteru, which is Venus, the space of beauty, right? Beauty and love and forgiveness and all those fun things right here. And then we also have Heru, or the sixth sphere, which is Tippereth, which is Leo energy. That's the sun in the middle. Okay. And it needs balance of emotion, which is that head Haru, is that emotion. So it needs a balance between that emotion. Hey, Underworld. Hey, Coffee Lover. Peace. How you doing? Great evening, rising. I always wonder what people say in the evening. Hey, Larry. How you doing? So you have that balance between the emotion and the intellect of Heracahudi, which is that fifth sphere, and then that sixth of Tippereth right here. So having that alignment, they all lead to Sebek, because Sebek likes to take, the emotion and intellect to materialize in the physical world, which is why Sebek, Mercury, Virgo is harvest. That's when the autumn equinox happens. That's when we're harvesting things. That's when we're, reaping. I mean, not reaping. We're not reaping yet. We're sowing what we want to reap, right? This is also the energy of glory, vision, prophecy, and clarity, right? So that's all Had, that's all Gemini, that's all the 8th sphere, the energy is Sebek. And that's why when we're under this 888, it's very important to be very specific, because you guys know Mercury, Virgo energy is very analytical, very detail oriented. Get the vocabulary right, get your words right, know exactly what you want and how you want it. Peace, Scorpion girl, you came right on time. Really know what it is that you want and be specific about it. Because I don't know if y'all remember the movie, what was it? Bedazzled, with they had Brendan Fraser. He kept asking for the things that he wanted, and like little pieces of what he wanted would be missing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he had to be, hey Ray, how you doing? He had to be very specific about the things that he wanted. Ultimately, that's what he realized. Like, you have to be specific about what you're trying to manifest. You have to be very careful with your words. You have to be very analytical and detail concentrated, detail oriented with what it is that you're trying to manifest under this energy. You're on point. My mind don't know entirely what you're saying, but my spirit understands. Ashe. 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 I'm on YouTube as well. YouTube, I'm able to share my screen so I can have this whole like pretty PowerPoint and stuff like that, showing, you know, the visuals of what I'm talking about. Hey Ray, how you doing? But how's your day going, Ray? So that's the connection with that. So you definitely want to be, you know, detailed with that. And then also because the eighth sphere is beneath the fifth sphere, so we can get into the fifth sphere, which is Jabora, which now we're getting into the Aries Scorpius energy, right? Hey Jackie, Malik Bay, peace beloved. Hey Terry. So now we get into that actual like death and rebirth transformations and all of that stuff. On YouTube, I'm lesnobodies, LESNOBODIES. Excuse me. Or I think you just type Sunshine Monie and lesnobodies might pop up. But yeah, that's my YouTube is lesnobodies. But yeah, so when you get into the fifth sphere, now we're actually getting into that Scorpius energy of transformation, death, and rebirth, empowerment and enforcement, right? Now we're getting into the celestial enforcers, because that eighth sphere is actually the celestial technicians of creation and division and materialization. But prior to we getting there, we have to start at the fifth sphere of that transformation and enforcement. And we're enforcing, so you have Herakuhuti underneath Sekert, which is Saturn, Bina, that energy of understanding. And when you're in a space of understanding, you're in that space of being able to have discernment with your knowledge and your wisdom. When you have knowledge, you know things, you read the books, you converse the words, you can quote things, all that fun stuff. When you have, hey, stealing, when you have wisdom, you have that practice of when to assert that knowledge, right? And then when you have understanding, you have that ability to know when and where to assert that knowledge. Yeah, I guess we could use that word, conscious. I just like to learn. I've always been into learning. Have a lot of backgrounds in the learning. Thank you. Hey Drewski, how you doing? I appreciate you. But yeah, so now with the understanding, you have that ability to apply. Now, Saturn, Bina is associated with Saturn energy, even though the number 3, the third house, is Gemini energy of adventure and curiosity. So you have that interconnection between the numbers and the planets and the zodiacs, like they all intertwine with one another. So it's never going to be this or that with the planets and the numbers and the Sephiroths and the tree life. It's never this or that. It's always stuff within stuff, without stuff, and all that stuff on top of stuff. Nah, change that name, bro. Thought it was actually Drewski. Oh. um so yeah, so Bina is Saturn, and it's Saturn because when you start to exert your knowledge and wisdom, this is when the challenges come. You say, oh, I've learned this and I want to express it in my places, because 3 is the number expression, right? So as you learn to express it, guess what happens? The equal opposite energy. Now the universe says, hey, you want to do something? I'm going to give you the challenges, the pushback that you need to be able to stand 10 toes down in what it is that you're saying that you want to do. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, okay, I want to go to college. I want to learn this. Oh, bet we're about to give you the challenges you need. You're going to be taking tests. You got to go to class. You're going to have all these different things going on. You're going to have distractions. You're going to have all these things to really help you push forward to what it is that you are saying that you want to do. So it helps you get strength. It's like, I want muscles. Okay, now you got to go to the gym. You're not going to get muscles from lifting 5-pound weights if you pass that 5 weight, space. You got to keep picking up more heavier and heavier weights. You got to, challenge yourself more, doing more reps, doing all these different things. That's how you challenge yourself with the knowledge and wisdom that you have in all things. Your brain is a muscle too. Your experiences, all muscles. Your auric energy, a muscle. Yeah, so we doing astrology right now. Like, we could vibe. I think I can learn something from you. Oh yeah, I'm with the shits. I do astrology. I learn astrology with your Sephiroths, which is the tree of life that people be seeing. I line it with the Neteroos. The Egyptian deities, I align it with numerology. I do all of that. Herbal studies, all of that comes into one big thing for me. Hey Sunset, how you doing? Hey Stacy. But yeah, so coming back to the fifth sphere, this is where we're dealing with Scorpio, what gives the transformations after Mars gives that. Mars is the light in the gut. Everything starts with the thought. The gut controls the mind. So Mars gives you that initial like, okay, this is what I want. And then Scorpio goes ahead and makes the transformations that need to be happening. So like Mars, your gut might say, oh, I want to fight. Scorpio start manipulating your body, which is mostly water, start manipulating the space around you, which is mostly water, to get in fight mode. Mars might be like, oh, I'm hungry. Well, Scorpio on the outside, you might start transformation in your space. Like you might have to, make some money and go to the store, pick some stuff off the shelf, take it out of the store, go home and cook it. Or you might pull up to the drive-through and you got to you tell other people what you want. Hey, I want a sandwich. I want this. I want that. So now you are enforcing other people to make your food because you're hungry. Hey, Marvel, as how you're utilizing that Aries and Mars. And those are just layman's examples, but examples so you guys can comprehend, that combination between Mars and Pluto, that Aries and Scorpius energy. So you know how to actually do the readings too. Yeah, I read charts for a living. That's what I do. I read astrology charts, I read numerology charts, and I put them in your chakras so you know how to internalize them and apply them to your actual experiences and things like that. The fifth sphere, it deals with severity. This is enforcement by the celestial government. This is enforcement of law, of courage and fearlessness, because you have to have a certain level of courage and fearlessness to listen to your gut, right? You can't just be, your gut say you want something, but a lot of us have a tendency to ignore what our gut is telling us to do because we might have somebody else in our authority, where Saturn is at, Bina, our understanding. We are standing under someone else. That's why whenever you go to court or you get pulled over by a police officer or whatever, something like that happened, the first thing they say is, do you understand? They're asking you for access to your third sphere. Do you understand? You standing under me? Yeah. When people was like, in the cartoons and stuff, when you like standing under somebody or you being subservient, you do little things with your shoulders. That's where Bina is at. Bina is on your shoulders. You have a sense of something else on your authority. In the cartoons, they would have the angel and the little demon on the shoulders. That's the understanding. That's the expressing, letting you know, like, okay, who you standing under? Which one on your shoulder is the Bina? You know what I'm saying? Which one are you going to choose to express? You know what I'm saying? So that Saturn is the authority, and expression and the understanding. Who are you standing under? And I talked about that heavy in the last month of July with the supreme mathematics of like asking y'all, like, who is your authority? Because you are in charge of who your authority is and where your authority lies. Hey, big dude, how you doing, beloved? Hey, Stacy. Hey, Nahar. Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. The second act of creation, according to Metunetter, is associated to the fifth sphere. This is enforcing order. Chief interest is presentation of the whole. Man's analytical faculty. So Mars isn't always about like war. Mars has to analyze. Mars has to be, intentional. Hey, Florentina, how you doing, beloved? How you doing, big dude? How your day going, love? Understand and apply principles of justice, poor judgment. We're below Bina, which understanding, which I just went into heavy. We're across from Chesed. So you have that authority above, but then you have Chesed across. Chesed is the waters, right? And Chesed is like, being, I'm glad you're okay, Florentina. That's what's up. And Chesed is like that, I guess, thank you for following me. I'll follow you back, Ray. There we go. Chesed is peace. How you doing? Cardo blessings. Thank you for the follow. So, Chesed is like that mercy. Chesed is like that overbearing mom that's always giving you everything you want all the time, every time. Hey, love, my city. How you been, love? I ain't seen you in a minute. But yeah, so the thing with Chesed, hey, Stacy, hey, Shirley. The thing with Chesed is that Jabura provides is restriction, right? Because, that's the power of the masculine, the mother, and the father. Because the mom, I'm a mom, and I know that looks like the Kabbalah. It is. I specialize in reading the astrology in the realms of the Kabbalah and the Sephiroth and Metuneter. And I place them into your chakras. That's what I do when I read people's chart readings as well. Hey, Kayshawn. But yeah, so with the chesed, it's like, I'm a mom. I care about my kids' feelings. I want to give them the world. Da, 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 da. How you doing, Keishon? How's your day going, beloved? But there has to be a Jabora or a Hero Kahudi to provide limitations, because if you are just giving, 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 you're spoiling the child, and it debilitates the child. Ultimately, debilitates the child. They don't know how to do without. They don't have any strength. They don't have any muscles. Wanna know why? Because you're lifting all the weights for them. You looking at them as they're pitiful and they can't lift no weights on themselves. So when it comes time for them to lift weights on themselves, they can't do it. My day is going pretty good. I'm enjoying it. It's been raining all day long today. I've been really enjoying the rain. Hey Stacy. Hey Shira. How you doing, beloved? Appreciate the follow, Kayshawn. But yeah, so you don't want to spoil the child. You don't want to overdo that to where you're debilitating the child. That's not fair to them. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that balance between giving love and mercy and kindness versus limitations and punishment. Punishment is one, yeah, and wrath. And having a sense of judgment. So they say only God can judge me, right? So let's talk about the word God. God is 764 and gematria. That's the numbers associated. 7 is the number of spirit, right? 7 deals with the Libra scales. O is 6. That's the number of equality. That's why 6 is right in the middle. 6 deals with Mercury energy. We're coming back down to that 8 sphere Sebek, the celestial technicians. In order to label things, you have to have judgment. You have to have discernment to say, oh, this is this over here and that's that over there, like Darwinism. Darwin had to go through different islands, the Galapagos Islands, to be able to label the different birds and label the birds according to the different areas that they lived in and how it helped them in those different areas that they lived in. Right? That's a sense of judgment. You know what I'm saying? When they say only God can judge me, yeah, you are God. You have God in your 5th sphere, and you apply your God in the 8th sphere. You understand? Then you have 4 on the other side. 4 is that number of the physical manifestation, materializing. So you have that 6 of equality going in between 7, which is the celestial number, and 4, which is the physical material number. And you have 6 in between there, giving you that intellect. You have to have intellect and discernment between the two. Hey FJ, hey Babu, hey Stacy. Peace, y'all. How y'all doing? You have to have that balance in between the two. Hey Turner. But that's the energy between the 5th sphere, which deals with Scorpius energy, which rules over the 8th house. That's the 8 of transformation, death and rebirth, empowerment, solar plexus chakra of enforcement. Occultism is heavy here, and we're in the year of 8, y'all. So this has been the year of the wood dragon, and so with the wood dragon, it's a little different because with the wood dragon, it deals with materialism and materialistic things. So we're definitely dealing with that alignment of the 5 and the 8, right? That Scorpio and that 8th sphere is Sebek, which is Mercury sphere, right? So that's the heavy. So that's the wood dragon is that alignment between the 5 and the 8. Okay. This is also dealing with 13. 13 is the moon phases. Everything in alignment is foundationed on the 13 because that 1 and 3 come together and make 4. 13 is also a karmic number because it's learning how to express, having that bina, that understanding, that expression, that creation off the things that you know. We have been raised to never speak on the shit that we know. A lot of us know a lot of things. We have a lot of knowledge. We know a lot. But how many of us are expressing and living in that truth of what we know? We just know things. You go to work, you know the job is bogus, you know that money is bogus, you know the IRS is bogus, you know the government is bogus, you know all this stuff is bogus, but you will not create a life for yourself that showcases how bogus it is. You continue to go with the program and do what you're told. I gotta go to work. I gotta pay these bills. I gotta do the IRS. I gotta do the taxes. I gotta. Who told you gotta do that? You know it's bogus. So why are you refusing to express or understand or utilize that bina, putting your knowledge as your authority? One is asar. One is Keter. One is Pluto. One can also be Aquarius, of that revolutionary energy. And that is why we have Pluto sitting in Aquarius right now, creating transformations in our social awareness, creating transformations in our Keter. Our Keter is the energy that we give off collectively as one. So a lot of y'all are sharing the same downloads and uploads in y'all spaces. A lot of y'all are sharing the same dreams. A lot of y'all are sharing the same hidden agendas. A lot of y'all are aligning y'all Akashic records and coming together with y'all soul tribes in different ways, shapes, or forms. Like all of that is happening for y'all. And it's really fun, right? We love it here. Yay. But that's Pluto sitting up there in that Keter, creating transformations in that one, right? That 1 and 3, because a lot of us walk around where we know things, but we're still not putting the things that we know in our authority. We're still standing under the authority of the things that we know is bogus, right? So we have to do a little bit better than that. I think we can do a lot better than that. Start learning how to express and stand under your own knowledge. That'll create a more valid foundation. Now, for those of you guys who know things and still stand under things that are not in alignment with your knowledge, that's a foundation y'all going to create too. That 1 and 3 come together and make 4 for y'all too. You know what I'm saying? So being mindful of that, that's a thing as well. But yeah, that comes with the 7-6, the 7-6-4, 7-6 come together and make 13, still coming into that, that knowledge and understanding, that Keter and that Bina, to make that 4, which is Chesed, which is the mercy. That's when we come into the waters, right? That's when we come into, our joy, Mayat. And then that 4 come together with the other 4 make 8. That's why they say God is the God of war, right? Because God adds up to 8. God is associated with the solar plexus chakra, being that 8. You got 8 being that energy of Sebek, bringing us back down to Mercury. Don't we have to communicate to God? Don't we have to speak things? Don't we have to pray things? Don't we have to do those kind of things? Don't we have to do some level of enforcement with the 8 of Sebek? 8 is also associated with Scorpius energy. This is transformation, death, and rebirth. This is also a space of enforcement. This is the celestial technicians and the celestial transformers, right? We have access to both of those. And that's why, God is considered the God of war. War is not a space to be afraid of or fearful of. It's the limitations that we need, because otherwise we would just be out here being spoiled children with no muscles. We need those challenges in our space. So that's the alignment of 8 as far as the Kabbalah goes. Now I want to talk to you guys about what Lionsgate is on an astrological level. So in the beginning of July, Sirius star rises and is in conjunction with the sun. It gets very close to the sun, which is why we get the experiences of the heat waves. The summer is so hot, all these different things going on. That is in alignment with the fact that Sirius star is over there next to our Solaris. Thank you to Adonis for that beautiful definition. And so with those alignments, peace, Lisa, how you doing, beloved? So in alignment with those 2 stars, we get the heat waves, we get the summertime. This is where we get the saying of the dog days of summer, because Sirius star is the brightest star in the Canis Major constellation, which is the constellation of the dog, that sits next to the hunter of Orion. And there's a lot of different stories behind that. Well, let's talk about Sirius star for a minute. Sirius star is a binary star. You have Sirius star A and Sirius star B. It has a 50 to 60 year orbit. The Dogon tribe celebrate Sirius star, as once upon a time Sirius star was the main star here on this planet, which is where the inference comes from, that majority of the people on this planet were way more melanated than what they are now. And we even had a multitude of colors on this planet because of the star and the different energies and all those things that it expressed on this planet. Sirius star is twice in diameter than the sun we have right now. It's 26 times in energy than the sun we have right now, and twice as big in mass of the sun we have right now. It's considered a type A star. It is inferenced to be 17,000 degrees Fahrenheit versus the sun's 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's way hotter than the sun. And that's why when we experience the sun in the winter and the fall and all those things, it's not as hot as it is when Sirius starts to get closer and closer to our sun. That's when we start to experience the summer. So the summer is not just about our Solaris alone. The summertime is about Sirius start aligning with the Solaris. Okay. The next when Sirius star crosses our elliptical and kind of takes our sun's place for real, that next estimated date is like 2037, I believe. Oh, between 2027, I'm sorry, it's way sooner than that. Between 2027 and 2032, which we can see as the sun is getting hotter and hotter, we're getting more and more heat waves. Sirius star is getting closer and closer. For some of us, that's a great time. For some of us, it's not gonna be a good time. Hello, big boy, how you doing? Sigui is the celebration between the Dogon tribe about the Sirius star. Its appearance, hey Sag, its appearance after invisibility marks the season of Aket. This is the season of flooding. So Sirius star is in alignment with our sun up until August 12th. Once we get past August 12th, Sirius star starts to move further and further away from the sun, and that's when we start to get autumn, and then it's so far away from the sun, that's when we get winter time, and then it starts to get closer to the sun again, and we get spring, and now the sun and Sirius star in conjunction again, and then we start to get summertime. Okay, so again, our sun is not that hot. It's the alignment with the other stars that makes us, that really helps with the sun's seasons. Okay. And by the time we get to August 12th, it's kind of like that condensation. We've had so much condensation happening with the Sirius star and the sun aligning that once it starts to cool off, it's kind of like taking the top off the pot. It immediately like condenses and comes back down in rain, and that's why we experience the hurricane season. Okay. So it's like we're cooling off, and we cool off in the rain and the flooding. Our Ket season is more so associated with Egyptian culture when we get into the flooding of the Nile. Over here on this side, we have the Amazon River, we have Mississippi River, we have, I don't know what other rivers, but those rivers start to flood. Over here where I'm at specifically, we have the Delaware River. So that we experience these floodings and these rains and all that stuff like that. The Lion's Gate is that alignment of Sirius star with the sun, both of them sitting in Leo, still in Cancer constellation, right? So we have that left and right third eye experience happening with the star and the sun. And then we have Orion's belt also in alignment. So I can show you guys, because I do have a slide to talk about it. Hold on. Hey, Classy. All right, so you have the Sirius star down here, and then you have Orion's belt also in alignment in the Orion's constellation. And then it's also in alignment with the sun, with Earth or whatever, in the sun. I'm sorry. Yeah, the sun too. Orion's belt is a resting place for Osiris. Ancient Indians saw Orion's belt as the arrow that shot Orion, the king. Strength, spiritual intuition, and attention to details is energy of Orion, and as well as good luck. Again, we come to that energy of Sebek, the enforcer. We get to that energy, Sebek with the being a celestial technician, and Harokarudi, being that energy, or Had being that energy of the celestial enforcer, right? The alignment is in Osiris. This Orion's belt also represents the three kings or the three magi. These three stars are Anilam, Alnitak, and Mintaka. Orion disappears early winter and then reappears in the August. Orion's belt is really cool because whether you're on the southern or the northern hemisphere, you can still see this constellation, which a lot of other constellations don't have this capacity, this ability. The constellation can be found all over the world and is used to locate other stars. Everybody finds Orion's belt first, those three stars that's next to each other, and then they kind of go off from there. It also contains the Orion Nebula, which we usually see heavily in the wintertime, and we associate that with being the sword that sits on the belt of Orion, facing towards Bull, which, as you can see, it's usually facing towards Bull. that is right here is the first part of the Hyades. V right there is beneath the Gemini constellation. Gemini twins is on top. It's pursuing Pleiades, star over here somewhere, and then or hunting Lepus, which is the hare, and then of course it has Sirius, Canis Major, and Canis Minor sitting behind it. And then the story of Orion, he was killed by a scorpion. He was the son of Poseidon, and of course his constellation sits between Taurus and Gemini. So that's it. Sirius star in Indian culture is associated with Savannah, which is the dog star. This is the dog of King Yudhishthira. I know I butchered that shit. My bad to those of the Hindu culture. But he was ready to forsake heaven for his dog. So the story is he went to have he was like on pursuit of going to heaven. He had his 4 brothers with him. And he was like, yeah, we're gonna go find heaven. It's gonna be great. And then one by one, his brothers left him to go pursue their personal desires, and then by the end of it was just him and his dog. So he gets to heaven's gates, and Indra, I believe that's the name. My apologies if I butchered the name. But Indra was like, ain't no dogs allowed up here. We don't allow dogs up here. I don't care. And then so the king was like, wait a minute, all my brothers left me. My dog's the only person that didn't leave me on this journey. Like, I'm not leaving without my dog. So he was like, all right, fuck heaven. We're not going up there because my dog's not allowed. And then Indra was like, oh, well, this guy was willing not to go to heaven for his dog. That's crazy. So then he let both of them in. And that's why you have, Orion sitting there with the Sirius star. And we love it here because that is the symbolism of man and man's best friend. The star also symbolizes conduct and knowledge. The Leo sun, so now talking about the sun being in tropical Leo, it empowers us to take action, and the universe conspires to support us in that action. Leo energy deals with the fifth sphere. It's Tippereth. It's the mid between the upper and lower. It is the emotional energy, but also in alignment with materialism, wealth, and riches that come with that emotional energy and what you feel like you deserve. All those fun things are in alignment with Leo being the sun, having that experience of what you deserve. So under this sun, like, it's really time to talk about what it is that you deserve, what it is that you want to manifest. I already went through the Kabbalah with you guys, reminding you guys to be very, very specific, very, very careful, detailed, and analytic about the words that you choose when you are manifesting the things that you want under this 888 energy, especially when we're going to hit 8 o'clock. I should be done before we hit 8 o'clock, so that y'all could do y'all 888 at 8 manifestations. But remember to be very intentional, be very analytical, be very just be very specific. You know what I'm saying? And as you're saying it, have the trust and the confidence that the universe is going to conspire to make sure that you get exactly what you're asking for. I prefer to write things down. Writing comes easy to me. I love it there with the writing of things. And so, hey, Kayshawn, welcome back. So when you write things down, it gives you an opportunity to be way specific before you even say the things out loud. And we love it there. What you up to? So again, that peak with Sirius star and Orion being with the sun, that is on 888. However, we've been experiencing this from July 28th up until August 12th. And that's when, the dog days start to dwindle down and it starts to get cooler outside. You'll realize that we'll have less sunlight, and that's a lot to do with Sirius star backing off. So again, it doesn't really have too much to do with our actual sun. It has more so to do with how much our sun has been in alignment with Sirius star. That's what's creating, more sunlight, hotter days, all of those things. You just laying down. Yeah, I'll probably be doing that momentarily when I get done doing this, because I already did my manifestations earlier. I did everything I wanted to do. Got a lot of things done. I think I want to sit down and read after all of this. And also, like, there's a lot of pyramids all over the map as we know it. Hey, Malik, how you doing? A lot of those pyramids are in alignment with Orion's belt and Sirius star, and catching the rise and fall of those energies. The one in Mexico is in alignment with the solstices, which again is in alignment with Sirius star more than anything. It's the rise and fall of Sirius star is the solstice. I'm doing good. How you doing, Malik? Ancient Egypt praised Sirius as the gateway to heaven, and it was the brightest star. It still is. The sun that we have in our sky now is not as bright as Sirius star, nor is it as bright as Betelgeuse, which is the star that sits on the shoulder of Orion. So, our sun is actually, the sun that we have out here is actually really, really small. And I won't say really, really weak, but it is kind of. But yeah, so that's the alignment of those happenings. And then remember Mercury, which rules over Had, the eighth sphere in the tree of life. Mercury is currently in retrograde in Virgo Leo energy. So it's also in alignment with the sun, getting that Leo energy along with Orion and Sirius in this 888. So it's a really big celestial event happening here, which is why it's so important to be very intentional with things that you say you want. And we're 4 days away from the beginning of Mercury retrograde. So today is a day of stabilizing that Mercury retrograde, situation. Mercury deals with your health, wealth, daily routine, your moral and integral code, what you teach, what you speak on, what you learn, what you listen to. And we also are in that day of stability away from the new moon. This is the 8th day of the first decan of the month. This is the decan of taking action and being in a space of knowledge. So, that's happening. So that's what I got for you guys for the 888 number. That's what I got for you guys for the Kabbalah of things. We can get into the placements. So let's talk about it. So this is the Vedic, the tropical and draconic placements of today for 888. So again, we got the sun sitting in Cancer. On the Vedic, remember the Vedic chart, the sidereal chart rules over our body, the things that are happening in our space, right? So the happenings are Cancer, going inward, paying attention to your intuition. Hey, Rome Home. Hey, RBG. Paying attention to your intuition, paying attention to your spiritual self, your emotional self is heavy here. We start the day off at a 2-1. That's wisdom and knowledge. Again, brings you to that understanding, that Bina. We're in the 4th house with it, with home and family. Our experiences and our spiritual experiences is in that Leo of confidence and courageousness. No, get down. Get down. Move. The moon is in Virgo on all 3 counts. We are in the moon, which is, hey, Mr. Who Dat. Hello, Who Dat. How you doing, love? The moon is in Virgo on the Vedic, the tropical, and draconic. So we have Virgo energy on that intuitive energy, basically bringing us back to the fact that we're dealing with the 8th sphere on this day of 888. Mercury being in alignment with that Leo Virgo energy, in alignment with Orion's belt and Sirius star. The moon is in Virgo. Be very specific about the things that you want in your space. I'm pretty great. How you been? I saw your pictures and stuff. Look at you. Happy for you. Hey Levi, how you doing, beloved? So be very specific, be very analytical. You deserve what you want. Be very confident. Be ready to enforce these things. This is what you deserve. We are still in that new moon energy, y'all. Mercury and Venus are also in alignment. Still in alignment. They're both at a 9 degree. So Mercury and Venus are actually at conjunct today. They're both at a 9 degree and are happening. So 9 is the number of completion and wholeness. There's no number greater than 9. You're relaxing. That's what's up. Oh, you are not who I thought you were. But what's up? I know another Taurus whose name is Who Dat. But what's up with you? We're about to get into Taurus energy in a minute because Mars and Jupiter is over there. But yeah, so you have, Mercury and Venus, that communication and communicating what you want in your heart, right? We communicate the things that we want in our heart. We communicate, what we feel confident in, what we feel like. We've been taught, again, this comes back to the 3rd sphere, the tree of life of being who is your authority. Because if you put in other people, places, things, situations in your authority, aside from your own self and what you internally want, then, that's what's going to control what you have in your space, regardless of how you feel. That's a lot of you guys forcing yourself on a daily routine to do things that y'all don't want to do because y'all feel like y'all got to do it because somebody outside of yourself taught you that that's what you're supposed to be doing. But that's Mercury and Venus. It's all happening in the 5th house of creativity and romance. That's the Leo house. We have that in Leo in our happenings. We have it in Virgo on the tropical. So our thought process is on organization. Our thought process is on self-management and communication, moral and integral code, teaching and learning. And then our soul is having that confident, courageous experience. As far as Mars and Jupiter, they're in alignment. They're 3 degrees apart. 3 is that number, expression, understanding. Again, bringing back to that Bina energy. Mars is the solar plexus chakra of enforcement, coming back to that 5th sphere. Also in alignment with this 8 energy of transformation on this 888. Jupiter is giving you the abundance that y'all need, the expansion that y'all need, the joy. So when you enforce the things that you feel joyful about, again, this is all happening in Taurus energy. So Taurus is your heart chakra. Taurus is your priorities, your sense of love, the different levels of love, whether they be romantic, familial, friendship love, community love, universal love, all those different things. Those are all different levels of love that happens in Taurus energy. Self-worth and self-value is key here too. Your sense of wealth and money, materialism, and how you prioritize, how you obtain and maintain that is here as well. And having Mars and Jupiter sitting here 3 degrees apart, 3 degrees of creation. So, what you enforce in the space. Enforce your heart chakra, enforce your priorities, enforce the things that you want and you desire, despite what you've been taught to have as your authority. This is sitting in your 1st house today too. So this is the house of appearance, the auric appearance, the non-physical appearance. People could feel it off of your aura before you even open your mouth or you start moving in action what it is that you're here to enforce or what you stand for, and Jupiter is giving you that generosity and that abundance. Jupiter is giving you that sacral chakra fulfillment that you need as you enforce those things in your heart chakra. And hey Belmont, peace. Hey Pop, bye bye. So that's what we have in Taurus. Now, while this is happening in Taurus in our happenings space, Mars and Jupiter are in Gemini on the tropical, which is our thought process. And they're also in Gemini on our Draconic. Now, Gemini energy deals with our communication and our community, light traveling. When I say community, I mean people like you grew up with, people in your intermediate family, cousins, aunts and uncles, grandparents, things of that nature. So in the happenings, you're really enforcing your priorities and your heart chakra and stuff. What's happening in your thoughts and what's happening in your soul experiences, you're attracting the community, you're attracting the knowledge. You're again, this deals with the 5th, this deals with the 8th sphere of Sebek, of being a celestial technician and really being able to draw the lines in the mud with different people, places, things, situations that don't serve you and what it is you're trying to enforce in your heart. You got to trust that the stars are here. And that's, that alignment with Sirius star, Orion, the sun and earth. Mercury is also sitting there between that Leo Virgo energy is that the stars are here conspiring to help you what it is that you want. What do you want? And be very specific. Don't be generic about what you want. This is the time to really speak it. You're going to sow these things and you're going to reap it eventually. So it's like planting the cosmic seeds. How do you want the seed to grow in the soil? What kind of flower do you want? What do you want it to smell like? What you want to taste like? What color do you want it to be? How tall do you want it to be? Do you want it to be chunky? Do you want it to be thick? Do you want it to be slender? Do you want it to be able to survive all 4 seasons? What is it that you really want? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I advise writing it down. Writing it down is the best way to be as specific as you need to be and then say it out loud. But definitely write it down so you can see how specific and how detail oriented you're being and what you want. And then let go and know that the universe got it after here. After you pray, you shouldn't worry about something. After you meditate, you shouldn't be worried about it something. You can't keep going into the soil and digging up the seed to make sure it's sprouting and it's doing okay in the soil. That's not how it works. You're going to end up killing the seed because you keep digging it up, because you keep, looking at it and messing with it and stuff like that. You got to let it be. It's like you put a Band-Aid on top of something and then you keep taking the Band-Aid off to look at it. Don't keep taking the Band-Aid off to look at it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have happening in that Taurus, in our heart chakra, and our happenings, in that wealth space. And then it's happening, and then it's community, communication, and our thought process and our spiritual self. Now, as far as Saturn goes, now we're getting into that Bina, that 3, that understanding, the challenges in our space and stuff like that, right? Saturn rules over our root chakra. These are the challenges that we need in our space, to create the different disciplines and the discipline, the resources, the survival itself, all that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of us computing these experiences, hey Frida, instead of computing these experiences as traumas, they're challenges. Hey Donover, peace. Um, so these challenges are happening in Aquarius, right? And they're happening at a 24, right at a 24 too. 24 is balance on the 4, balance on the heart chakra. You know, 2 and 4 come together and make 6, coming back into that Mercury energy of what you're speaking. So what you speak, Saturn is like, all right, I'm about to give you the challenges that you need in that space on what you're speaking on from your heart. I'm about to show you, I'm about to help you balance that heart chakra and what that Mars and Jupiter is doing in your heart chakra. You ready? Is that, you got to be ready. Is this really what you want? Are you willing to do anything for it? Think about something that you're willing to do anything for. That's what you should be doing. You know what I'm saying? This is happening in the 11th house. So what's happening in the Aquarius house? This is our social awareness, our social justice, our revolutionary self. We also have Saturn sitting in Pisces on the tropical, which is our thought process and the spaces that we believe. Feeling the challenges happening in our belief system is a big thing too. You know what I'm saying? Because we have been believing a lot of things. And again, Saturn rules over Bina. This is our space of understanding. A lot of y'all have been allowing certain beliefs to be your authority, and those beliefs don't serve you. You know, a lot of you guys like to go back to like religion, like the original, not original, because it's not the original religion, but the renditions of religion that was created and utilized to control society and keep society under a certain rule of thumb. You know, a lot of you guys allow that shit to sit in your Bina, to sit on your shoulders, to sit in your space of understanding and authority. Saturn is challenging all of those beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Is there still space for those belief systems with where you're going? Or are they holding you back? And then also the new belief systems that you're trying to adopt in your space. You know, Saturn's going to challenge those too, because it wants to make sure that, you know, what it is that you're saying you want and what it is that you're saying you believe in order to have what you want. Are you for real? Let's see how for real you are, because it matters. How strong are you going to be in this? Because we can't have no weak people, no weak energy where you're trying to go. It's not going to do well for you. You trying to be a tree somewhere, you're going to get treated like a leaf. As soon as autumn fall, you falling with it. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be the leaf when you're trying to be the whole tree in a situation or in a space. Okay. You want to be the tree. Them trees got strong ass trunks. Them trunks can withstand all 4 seasons if they really want to be in that spot that they're in. They outside surviving hurricanes right now because they're where they want to be. His sparkle. So be mindful of that. You know, Saturn is where you're rooted at. That's that root chakra. You know, the roots go down, they go up. So you have Saturn sitting in that in your social space and in your space of belief. 1 and 8 still bringing to that energy at 8 a transformation on your knowledge, the things being born in your belief system from that 1 and 8 in your tropical. And then you have Saturn sitting at 8 Pisces in your Draconic. So your soul is undergoing complete transformation in that belief system. You are literally breaking things from different lives. Uranus is giving you that progressive push that you need to move forward. In the Vedic happenings, Uranus is the cardinal in a cardinal space. So you experience Uranus before you experience Mars and Jupiter, right? Uranus is that progressive energy that we need to keep pushing. So you got a big progressive happening in our heart chakra, in the things that you want and stuff like that. A lot of things that y'all thought y'all wanted or whatever, they pushed you, you know, and you're like, damn, I don't know if I still want these things. Hey, Anthony, how you doing, love? You don't know if you still want these things. You don't know if you know if this is still a priority for you, if you still have love for these different people, places, things, and situations, because Uranus gave you such a push. But that is the challenge that you need. That's the push that you need to be progressive towards what you want. You know, is this really a priority for you? Is this really where your heart chakra is? Because, you know, after you get through that Uranus, you're going to be ready for that Mars, right? You're going to be ready for Mars. You're going to be ready for, and then Jupiter right at the end with the pentacles, with the little nugget at the end of the board. Like, you pass the board, here go your diamonds, here go your points. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be thinking about Streets of Rage after you get done fighting all these people, and then to be a chicken on the side of the road, and you eat that whole chicken, or you eat that apple or whatever. Whenever it was a chicken, I knew it was about to be some bullshit coming. Like, this board about to be crazy that I'm about to walk up on, because you wouldn't have gave me a chicken if it wasn't going to be that hard. But then when they give you the apple, you're like, oh, it's about to be little potatoes. We got this. Anyway, I like Streets of Rage. When I became an adult and I finally finished the whole game, I was like, wow, this was really hard when I was a kid. Same thing for X-Men. It was really hard when I was a kid. Then I'm an adult and I finished the whole game in one day. I was like, what the hell? But anywho, that's Uranus. Uranus is giving you that punch in the face. It's like, welcome to tourist punch. And then Mars is like, you ready? Like, what are you willing to enforce in this space? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to be like, thoughtful in the chess moves that you make? Mars always reminds me of like a Marine type energy. Like, it's not just war. It's intellect behind the war. We playing chess over here with Mars. Mars is a chess player, like really thinking methodically and figuring the things out, and not just moving all crazy. Nah, we thinking it through. It's like the Game of Thrones, like moving the things across the table and shit. Like, that's what Mars gives me. And Jupiter is just so jolly. Jupiter is like the Santa Claus at the end. You know what I mean? And all that's happening in the happenings of your heart chakra, in that space of wealth and priorities and self-love and self-value and the different levels of love and all those things happening in your heart chakra, and how well you're doing in that space. It's all sitting in the first house, which is the house of appearance in your auric body. So then we have Uranus sitting in Taurus on the tropical and the Vedic as well. I mean, the tropical and the Draconic as well. So Uranus is giving you that progressive push, not only in your happenings, which is cardinal because it's only at a 2 degree, but it's also giving you that push in your tropical, which is in your mindset. Now at that point it's at a 2-7, so it's giving you that balance on your 7, on your internal guide. 2 is Taurus, 7 is Libra, 2 is wisdom, 7 is God. You know what I'm saying? And they come together and make 9, which is born. So however you're dealing with Uranus is giving what it is that you're giving birth to in your space. Then you have it at a 17 degree, which your Draconic, which your spiritual, experience, which is knowledge in God, which brings you to that space of transformation, giving you right back to that number 8 of transformation. Let Uranus create transformation in your soul experience. Let Uranus give birth to what it is that you need in your thought process. Let Uranus create some sense of balance in your happenings. Okay. And then we have Neptune sitting over there in Pisces. Neptune is in Pisces on the Vedic next to your North Node and Chiron and Fortune. So let's just align those 4 together, because that's a whole square. That's a whole foundation happening in your beliefs in the Vedic, which deals with your body, what's going on around you, right? So we have Neptune being that cardinal, that initial energy. That's dreams, the subconscious, your belief system, your Akashic records, right? This is in the 11th house. So a lot of you guys coming across people that you'll be healing your past lives with. A lot of you guys had some unfinished business in your past lives with certain tribes, certain people, certain nations, certain lands, certain cultures and stuff like that. You'll be introduced to all of that. Okay, this happening at the 5 degree. This is why I say that, because 5 deals with Harold Cahuti. 5 deals with that Mercurian enforcement energy. Hey, Escobar. Oh, that's my dog's name. Well, it's not Escobar, it's Escobar, because his nickname is Scooby. Oh, he didn't like that. Oh well. But yeah, so your Neptune is giving you that 5 degree. 5 is the number of walking in the power of your truth. 5 is the number of curiosity, adventurous, intellect. 5 deals with Tippereth, the 5th house. That's that Leo house, that heart chakra, that confidence with the 5. That's all Neptune, and it's happening in the 11th house again. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of people that you attract in your space that's associated with your Akashic records, the unfinished business that you got going on, and you being revolutionary in those spaces is important. Don't fall to it. Rise above it. So after you get past Neptune over there touching your dreams and a lot of y'all messages going to come to y'all in your dreams. A lot of y'all going to be dreaming about certain people, dreaming about the unfinished business you have with certain people, especially because the moon was in alignment with Parima earlier this morning. Parima is the star of prophecies in the Virgo constellation. So a lot of this stuff is coming to y'all in y'all dreams about what y'all supposed to be doing or whatever, or when y'all in y'all super heavy meditative state. Thank you for the follow, Brad. How you doing, beloved? So you start with the Neptune, then you go into the North Node and Fortune are right on top of each other. Both of them are at a 15 degree. 1 and 5, knowledge in walking in the power of your truth, which bring you to that 6 of equality, right? So you have that intellect, you know what you want. 1 is that cardinal energy, 1 is that fire, that initial thought, that happens before the actions do follow. How's your day going, Brad? 1 is that Aries energy, right? The mindset behind the physical action. 5 gives you that walking in the power of your truth. 5 gives you the heart. So aligning your intellect with your heart, your mind with your feelings. We love it here, right? Aligning your Keter with your enforcer, enforcing your spiritual self, enforcing the energy that you're giving off. That is the North Node. North Node is what the direction that we're going towards spiritually as a unit. You find out what your North Node is, and if your North Node is in a like what degree is your North Node away from the North Node of the collective. That gives you an idea of how this North Node as a collective is supporting you. How am I doing today? I'm doing very well. I'm doing really well. I wrote this to-do list and I've just been checking shit off and I love it here. And now I'm trying to calm myself with not adding anything else on it until it's all the way done because I have a habit of doing that. But yeah, that 1 and 5 coming into 6 of equality. Equality bring you back to that Mercury energy. Mercury rules over the 8th sphere, it's the Beck. That's the celestial technicians. That's the enforcer. That's the health, wealth, daily routine, the moral integral code in your routine. And we have that happening with the North Node. So the direction you're moving in towards spiritually, you're going to start being called to apply that to your daily routine. And you've already seen it in your dreams. You've already seen it in your imagination. You've already seen it in your meditation self. All the things that you're going to have to do to make those dreams a reality, to make that subconscious a reality. So now it's just a matter of moving forward in that. Hey, Bert. Hey, Nola. And then last but most certainly not least, we have Chiron sitting at a 29 degree because Chiron is making its way to Aries to align with the tropical and the draconic chart. What you up to, Bert? Chiron is the asteroid that transmutes your wounds into strengths, right? And so it's sitting in that space of belief. A lot of y'all allow your beliefs to give you certain kind of wounds. Religion is a big one. It taught you that you had to walk around on your knees all the time. You had to listen to certain people, places, things, no matter what they were doing. I never really fully believed in the Bible to that extent that it was being taught from the pulpit, more so because I knew that the people that, like, I knew my grandma couldn't read, so she was letting the preacher tell her whatever he wanted to tell her, and I knew sometimes the preacher was full of shit. Like, I knew these things. I already seen these things. So, like, I never let religion get to me the way that, it got to a lot of other people who let stuff like that do that to them. Also, sitting in the classroom, you got to listen to all these people in authority. Sometimes they make mistakes. And I remember being in the classroom and having those certain students that weren't afraid to tell the teacher, "Ayo, you misspelled that word," or "Ayo, that ain't the math answer," or "Ayo, I read in the textbook it said this." And the teacher would be like, "Don't do that, da, 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 da," because, how dare you question my authority? How dare you correct my intellect? Even if I was right, even if I wasn't right, you know what I'm saying? They don't, and it's just like a lot of situations like that with parents. You know what I'm saying? All of that shit like that. And so that created kind of wounds in our belief system. Like all these people of authority. Hey, Sadea. Hey, India. Peace, law. Thank you for the follow, Bert. How was work? That put a sense of wound in our belief system and how we think things are supposed to be. Everybody's supposed to be telling us what to do. Everybody's supposed to be telling us, "Hey, twin. Hey, Mac." Everybody's supposed to be telling us where to go and how to be and stuff. It's not up to us. It's up to these people of authority. It's up to the politicians. It's up to the police officers. It's up to the judge. It's up to our elders. It's up to the pastor. It's up to the boss. It's up to, the manager. It's up to HR. It's up to everybody else but you. You are not your authority. And it shows in your decision-making skills. It just shows in how confident you are in enforcing the things, because as soon as somebody that has that certain title feels entitled to tell you something, you fold. We folding. And that creates wounds. And that puts you in spaces where you're not ready to really enforce what it is that you want in your dreams. You're not ready to make your dreams come true, because certain dreams that you have, they cause you to rebel against those people of authority you've been taught to hunch your shoulders and sit on your knees when they come around. Sit on your hands. Put your head down. You can't do that when it comes to your dreams. Because why? Because those are going to be the first people that come to you and challenge your shit. I promise you, they're going to be the first people that come to you and challenge it. Oh, you want to do that? Why you want to do that? What's that about? Da, 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 da. You can't do that. I'm going to fire you. You can't do that. I'm going to do this to you. You can't do that. That's against the law. You can't do that. Da, 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 da. Like, oh, living off grid is a big one. People want to live off grid. People want to be free. First thing that come out, people mind, what about the police officers? What about the politicians? Like, what police officer is about to drive all the way out here to bother me? You got to be so bored. What about the military? The military got a lot of stuff on their hands. You really think the military worried about me? Thank you for the likes, twin. Appreciate you. Thank you. Like, you got all these different beings in your authority. They don't even care about what you're doing for real. They're not thinking about you like that. But you got them sitting there, and you got them sitting so heavy in your Saturn, so heavy in your understanding. And they are going to be the first people to challenge you. But you got to utilize that Mars and Jupiter sitting in your Taurus. You got to utilize that Uranus sitting into your Taurus. That Mercury and Venus is sitting in Leo and Virgo for a reason, for you to be very confident and courageous and meticulous about what you're expressing that you need and you deserve and you desire in your space, because you do. And that's what this 888 is about. Trusting that when you talk to Sirius and Orion's belt through Mercury, through the sun from Earth, trust that when you speak through this alignment, that the stars are aligning to help you have what it is that you desire and deserve, what you're asking for. And that's why you got to be so specific under this 888. Chiron is in, so that's the four. That's the four that we have happening in our Pisces space. That's the foundation. You got Neptune, the North Node, Chiron, and our fortune sitting there. Transmuting those wounds into strengths, following your subconscious and your dreams. That's going to lead you to that fortune you deserve and you desire, right? That's going to lead you to that spiritual, forwardness, because North Node is where you're moving forward spiritually. We have Lilith in Virgo on our tropical, and that's sitting up there with the moon. So the black moon Lilith and the vertex and the moon is all sitting there. Black moon Lilith deals with, your rebellious side, your primal side, your primordial side, giving you that strength to be that warrior in your goals, to be rebellious in your goals. I don't want to do what the rest of y'all are doing. I don't want to do what society, I definitely don't want to do what they're doing on TV. I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to do what y'all doing on social media. The person that gets the most likes on social media, I really want to do the opposite of what they're doing. I have zero desire to do what they're doing. That's the rebellious energy, because everybody's being herded to go this one way. If you want this certain kind of attention on social media, you have to behave this way. You have to create these kind of scenarios. You got to talk about these kind of topics. If you're not doing that, then go over there. You even see certain people, like spiritual leaders and stuff, start to use the jargon in the titles of their videos and in their comments and all that stuff so that they can get more attention. Like they're trying to serve two masters. It doesn't work that way. You don't get to serve two masters. Why do you think you get to serve two masters? You're either with the rebellious energy, or you're going to go with the flow. Hey, Chauncey, how you doing, beloved? You got to pick one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be that walking contradiction and stuff like that, but no, you're going to slow yourself down when it comes to your dreams and your goals. You're going to slow yourself down because you're still putting yourself in a space where, oh, I'm still going with the flow. And as soon as somebody sees you serving two masters, they're going to fraud you out. You a snake in the grass, you a fraud, you ain't really this, you ain't really that. And they're going to be right. They're going to be right. You done hindered yourself trying to be a part of something you're not a part of, thinking that's going to help you get to where you want to be. And it's not. It's going to hinder you. The challenges are going to come. That's the challenge of walking in your authenticity, is there's a bunch of people doing the same shit around you. How you going to flow through all those sheep doing the same shit? That's the real challenge. You're going to do what they're doing. They're not going where you want to go. So why would you do what they're doing? Doesn't make any sense. That's up to you if you want it to make sense, though. It's your world. I don't want to do what none of them folks doing. But that's the Lilith, that's the moon, that's your vortex. Your vortex is showing you. And it's all happening in the 6th house. So it's a debilitated house. So if you're not showing that sense of equality, if you're not showing that moral and integral code, if you're not being self-organized and self-managed, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to debilitate yourself. You're going to slow yourself down. 6 is Mercury. That is not the house you want to play with. That's the house you want to show balance in. That's the house you want to show integrity in. Sixth house is very detail oriented. So it's like, be mindful of the details that you have in your space and how you're implementing them. That's it for the tropical. We done got through the tropical. I told you we was gonna get done by 8. Hey Escobar, welcome back. So we talked about Neptune being in all 3 in Pisces, while Pluto is in Capricorn. Oh, we didn't even talk about Pluto being in the root chakra. Pluto's in Capricorn in the 10th house, so being tapped into that Pluto. Pluto is 8 on the 888. Pluto rules over the number 8 of transformation, death, and rebirth, building and destroying, enforcement, empowerment, the solar plexus chakra, the external side of the solar plexus chakra, like that. Pluto is also associated with the 5th sphere of Hera Kahuti, which is the celestial enforcers, while 8 is associated with the celestial technicians. Again, being very intentional. We are speaking and providing transformation to our root chakra. Pluto is in Capricorn in our happenings. So the transformation is happening in our infrastructure, in our foundation of things, how we're physically rooted in things, the different events and happenings and what they're rooted in is creating that transformation. A lot of secrets being uprooted and stuff like that. Now in our mindset, is happening in Aquarius, and the mindset is happening in our social awareness and how we socialize with people, our social structures and our social justice, right? Because as we're having energy exchanges with people, there are stuff that's happening and create, those events and, with authority and, especially with everybody wants to focus on the president, but there's other things going on in the space of finance. There's other things going on in the stock market and the banks and the different USC codes is getting updated. CFR codes are getting updated. If you guys are in alignment with that, there's a reason why this person picked the VP of Minnesota. If you learn about the steps that you need to nationalize yourself, like transformations happen and all of that. Hey, Devin, how you doing, beloved? Pay attention to all those things. That's all the social awareness, social justice. Electronic communication is big here too. Tapping into Pluto being in the root chakra, providing transformation to the social interactions, the titles and the entitlements to the different social interactions and the different infrastructure and the happenings and the resources and the discipline that you have. Allowing Pluto to play with those things, play with those root chakra balls. That's where the success is. It's sitting in the 10th house. It's in retrograde, so it's slowing down for you to catch up, but it's in the 10th house of success for you guys. How's your day going, Devin? Blessings back to you. But yeah, that's Pluto. And it's sitting in the infrastructure of your soul too on the Draconic chart. So you have Pluto sitting on that Capricorn energy over there, while you have the North Node sitting in Pisces in the space of belief. Of course, it's going to be in Virgo, South Node, Virgo energy, bringing us back to, Sabet, the 8th sphere, bringing us back to Mercury retrograde, bringing us back to that alignment with Sirius Star and Orion's belt in the sun, straddling between Leo, Virgo energy. That's where we're coming from. That's what we're accustomed to. Peace, J-Law. How you doing, beloved? That's what we become accustomed to. And we're bringing it towards our space of belief. We're bringing it to our subconscious and our dreams. We're bringing it to our Akashic records sitting in that 12th house, of more subconscious energy. We love it here. North Node is sitting in new beginnings happening in our thought process as our dreams is giving us all this energy, new beginnings happening in our soul's experiences. So you guys are, really having transformations on a generational level, on a spiritual DNA, on a celestial DNA level. It's not just about you being present here, but also your past lives, are experiencing this transformation that you're doing right here in this moment. And that's why you have a lot of experiences where you'll hear a lot of different celestial bodies. See, I'm not too well versed in this. I'm getting better. I like to learn, but right now I'm focused more so on my nationality than I am on other things right now. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Hey, unique angel, peace, beloved. But there are people that will talk about the alignment of the different timelines, right? Yeah, mine was good. Mine was real good. I've been enjoying the rain. Peace, Thomas. These different timelines that are aligning is going to show you how much healing you're doing to your past lives, to your Akashic records, and your past selves and stuff. Hey, Zola, how you doing, beloved? So allow them to do that. You see the timelines intertwining. You see your mindset, kind of paying attention to the Mandela effect happening more often as timelines come together, thinking you did things, imagining lives if you would have made different kind of decisions and when you would have made them, to the point where the imaginarium of them is starting to feel real. You know what I'm saying? And to the point where a lot of us are starting to go back prior to COVID. years are starting to intertwine before, after COVID, if COVID never happened. Those timelines are coming into each other, as well as other past like major activities, like the different acts that came into play, the different depressions. As we repeat another depression, we're repeating something else under the sun. That's because there was unfinished business the first time it happened, right? And what did we learn from the first time it happened? Who was our authority? Who were we allowing to take charge? Hey, Mozzie, how you doing, Maisie? I don't know. I'm sorry. Who are we allowed to take charge? Who are we going to allow to take charge this time? Is it going to be you, or is it going to be somebody on the TV screen telling you what to do that don't know you, never met you, don't even know your name? You don't know nothing about them. You just coming up with a bunch of theories about who they could be and who they might be because you see them on TV for about 15 minutes a day. That's who your authority is. I think we should do something different as a people. We are way more powerful. In fact, a lot of this shit don't exist if we say it don't exist. If you look on all of the different like imageries and the items that these beings use, these entities use, these corporations and stuff use, it say believe in God we trust, trusting, believing. If we don't, in good faith, if we don't have faith in it, if we don't believe in it, if we don't trust it, it doesn't exist. It no longer exists. It can't exist without us believing in it, because at the end of the day, it's just pieces of paper. It's all paper. I could write something on a piece of paper. If you decide to believe it, it works. If I write something on a piece of paper and you decide not to believe it, it won't work. We're allowing people that died years, centuries ago, who wrote something on a piece of paper, still control us with that piece of paper because you keep choosing to believe it. Shit like that. Yeah, shit like that. And that's new beginnings to the North Node happening in that 12th house of Pisces house. Like, what are you believing in? Like, is our spirit really still going in the direction of believing in the same things? Because it's going to get harder and harder to continue to believe in those things, I promise you. The direction that they're going, did y'all not see the way that rally was? It was ghetto. Did you not see the stuff? Like, I don't really watch it, but the glimpses that I get is so ghetto and so hard to believe. And I don't feel like you have to be on my level of intellect to believe or not, or to decide to stop believing in this shit. Like, are people really sitting here buying it? Are you still saying, oh, the lesser of two evils? You don't even believe it in anymore, because now you're finally getting to the point where you see they're both evil. So when do we get in the point where it's like, oh, nah, neither? Hey, holla, because you have the power to do that. You have the power to say neither. Us, it's God, it's the universe, it's spirit, it's whatever. You have the power to do that. But you got to get these folks out of your Saturn first. And that's why Saturn is sitting in Aquarius. That's why Pluto was sitting in Capricorn, Aquarius. The planets is there creating challenges and transformations in that root chakra. So all that stuff that y'all been trusting in and believing in and giving titles to and letting them feel entitled to you and letting yourself be rooted in and stuff like that, all that stuff is being challenged. Challenged terribly. Like, y'all not tired of seeing these crazy videos of these people shooting our people? Y'all not tired of seeing these crazy people talking crazy on the internet about who they think we are? People really sitting on the line telling us who we are. Like, we don't know who we are. Like, we won't talk to our grandmothers. My grandfather's mother is still alive. She's in her 90s. I can sit down and talk to her about who her grandmother was, because her grandmother lived till 90. That's 200 years I can go back real quick. I can go back 200 years right now to go sit in a room with my great-grandmother. I grew up in the room with my great-great-grandmother. She was 103 when I was, what? I think she passed away when I was 12. She was in her hundreds then. That's who helped raise me. I was raised by 100-year-old women. I've sat in those rooms and I've learned about who their mothers and grandmothers were. So to sit on the internet and have somebody sit here and tell me who I am, like I wasn't raised by old people in my family, in my bloodline, teaching me who I am and showing me the paperwork, that's wild. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that with none of y'all. And that comes with the energy of Hera Kahuni, the energy of Sabet. Like, it's a difference between acquiring knowledge and reading things and accumulating all the funny words and the beautiful words, and I can quote this and I can cite that and versus actually experiencing it. What have you experienced? Why y'all keep opening books and letting other people tell you what your experience is going to be, what it might be, what it's supposed to be? At what point in time are you going to be your own authority and say, I know this because I did this. I know this because I did that. I don't know. That's just me. I say do a little bit of both. You could do a little bit of both. But just to sit here and just read books and read and just live through the lives of people that wrote the books, and then a lot of people that wrote the books, they just reiterating the stuff that they read. A lot of them didn't even experience the shits. So when are you going to experience life? Well, you got to allow yourself to be challenged by the people that's telling you you're not allowed to. A lot of times that's you. It's you the one in your way telling you you're not allowed to experience something. Shit. Sometimes it's you. Get out your way. You think it's money? You think it's money that's in your way? You think it's the bank? Nah, it's you. You have the power to do so many things. You just gotta let yourself do it. The 4 placements that we had in Pisces supporting Neptune in our happenings, that North Node, Chiron, and Fortune, they're in Aries on our mindset, and they're in Aries on the Draconic. So new beginnings to our wounds as we transmute them, new beginnings to our fortune. You know, the Draconic, our soul has the fortune at a 0 degree, so that shit coming easy. That's sitting right on top of the North Node too. So as you put new beginnings to your experience, as soon as you start, harmonizing those timelines, start finishing that unfinished business that you got, yeah, that fortune gonna come easy, instantaneously. That's how you gonna know that you did what you're supposed to do. That's like that Jupiter, like right after Mars. You know what I'm saying? Being 3 degrees apart, 3 degrees, 3 the number of expression and understanding, that Venus, that Saturn, getting through that challenge, right? They're all sitting in the 12th house, that Neptune house of your dreams and your subconscious, your Akashic records, your hidden agendas, hidden enemies, and all that stuff. You always want to play. Lilith and Vertex sit in Libra on our thought process. So that rebellious energy, providing balance and harmony and justice. That's the goal. If your rebellious energy is not here to provide balance, harmony, and justice, I don't know what you're doing. You better fix it. New beginnings in our first house, in our happenings, our heart chakra, on our thought process, our space of wealth on our thought process and our spirit. Our house of success, the MC line, is in Capricorn in our happenings. Paying attention to that root chakra, the challenges that you have, overcoming those challenges. It's in Aquarius on our thoughts, that social awareness. And then it's back in Capricorn on our soul process, the authority that our souls, again, that unfinished business. Because a lot of us historically, time after time, have allowed the same beings to be an authority of us. And that's why we have unfinished business, because we kept letting those same beings over and over again have authority over us. The IC line, sense of home and belonging. We have Cancer sitting there in our happenings. So our sense of home and belonging happening in our intuitive space, going inward. That's also in alignment with our spiritual experience, going inward, being in tune with our spiritual self, letting spirit speak to us. Leo energy in our thought process, being confident, courageous, and creative. Some of us looking for love, that Virgo energy. Different facets of love. Doesn't always have to be romantic, but Leo energy might say it needs to be. That DC line, how we, the energy that we experience, balance, harmony, and justice in our happenings, interpersonal relationships, bonds, and contracts. Scorpio, transformations in our mindset on what brings us balance, harmony, and justice. And that's happening in our thought process as well as in our spirit. So again, switching up your authority is key here. Switching up our authority is key here, y'all. So I hope y'all enjoyed this reading. I'm gonna pull some cards. I told you I was gonna be done by the time you get to 8 to the 888. So let me pull cards for the collective. I'm gonna do all 4 modalities in one, y'all, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. So we checking who's in our authority. We are checking. We're providing transformation. We're putting ourselves back into our authority. We're being very specific about what it is that we want in our space. Again, write it down before you say it out loud. Be very specific because you don't want to leave no room for error. And then once you do it, let it go. Don't keep checking. Don't keep backtracking. Just let it go and know that it's coming to you because that's what you deserve. We have Neptune and the Moon, Passion Flower, Surrender. See? Let it go. Surrender, y'all. Surrender. Letting it go. Align the Neptune with the Moon together. I'm going to expand on it. Yep. 88888. Hey, Adonis. Peace, peace. This is the collective reading now. As I count y'all out. Surrender is at a 4 and 3. 4 is that fourth house, that Cancer energy I was telling you about. 3 is that energy of creativity. Remember, that's the 3 degree in between Jupiter and Mars right now. Ace of Swords. It might be some news coming. May not be the best of news, but it's the news that you need when you start to surrender. Because like I said, some of the stuff y'all been holding on to keep in y'all space is preventing y'all from doing what y'all need to do. And y'all not trying to let it go. I don't know why you're not trying to let it go, but you need to let it go to make space for the things that you want. Hey, him. You deserve what you want. 4 chalices. Again, coming back to that number 4. The balance, 4th house is that Cancer house, bringing you back into the moon. Pay attention to your emotions, your intuition. Your intuitive side is heavy today. You know, when you're meditating, when you're manifesting and stuff, and you start imagining the life that you have to live in order to have the things that you want, flow with that. Pay attention to what's still in your space when you're flowing with that. Pay attention to what's being removed from your space when you're flowing with that imagination, with that thought, with that meditative state, because it matters and it's showing you. It's showing you what you have going on. It's showing what you need. Seven of Cups. Oh, so we're just going to be an intuitive over and over again. We got Venus and Scorpio, transformations to your heart chakra, transformations to your priorities happening here, transformations to your material self, to your sense of self-value, self-worth, material, transformations in all of those spaces. That 1 and 4 would come out, right? All this water, all this moon. Just keep saying moon, moon, moon over and over again. God, spiritual, intuition, emotions. It's heavy here. That's what we want to focus on today underneath this 888. Hey, Jose. How you doing, love? What chakra are we going to focus on? I got a feeling. I feel like I already know what chakra. We're going to be in the third eye or we're going to be in the sacral chakra, but we'll see. We're going to be in the throat chakra. We're on a quest. We're going on a quest. And that comes back into that Sebek energy of the intellect being, we can acquire knowledge. We can read the books. We can do the things and stuff like that. But if you really want the experience of what it is you're supposed to be doing and how you're supposed to be doing it, you got to go on the adventures. You got to have the experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like you can read books all day. Speaking to myself, I can read books all day, but if I'm not enforcing what I learn, what am I doing? I'm not changing my reality. I just know a bunch of shit. I know all this astrology stuff, but if I'm not applying it, it's not changing my reality. It's not helping me. I'm not rising above. I'm just talking about it. I could learn about all this nationality stuff, but if I'm not applying it, what change am I making to my life? What experiences am I having? Don't be scared to fuck up because you're going to fuck up. That's a part of the challenges of Saturn. Is you're going to mess up, but that's the learning experiences. That's how you learn how to rehash, go back to the drawing board. Y'all scared to mess up because y'all got other people outside of yourself and y'all authority. Welcome back, Ray. And other people outside of yourself and your authority don't leave you room to mess up. Oh, you failed. Oh, you're not doing good. Oh, we finna talk about you. Oh, we finna hurt you. We finna gossip about you. We finna mess it up for you. You don't get another chance over here. Well, I don't need another chance over there. I got another chance with me. Every time I wake up, every time I take a breath, every time I take a step, I got another chance with me. I don't need another chance with y'all. Y'all not my authority. You got to stop adopting other people's authority mindsets onto yourself too. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for how you fucked up and move on. Don't let this stuff only exists if you believe in it. That's the crazy part. If you choose not to believe in it, it don't have authority over you. So if you allow it to cloud your belief in yourself to where you no longer trust in yourself because you messed up and life teaches you only get to mess up in something once and then you can't do it again. That's why we're not doing that. That's not fair to you. You still here. How many more years you got to be here? You don't know how many more years you got to be here, but you might have a lot. You might have enough to not be sitting around not forgiving yourself and not moving forward. What do I mean by what, love? Disillusionment. Remove the illusions. Get rid of them. 3 and 8 come together. They make 11. Self-mastery. Master of self, especially when you're dealing with that 3 degree between Mars and Jupiter. Enforce what you want in your space. You guys can overcome that Uranus. That Uranus is here to give you the progressive pushes. That Uranus is not here to deter you or push you away or dishearten or discourage you. It's here to push you where you need to be. So allow yourself to be pushed. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to mess up. Because that's the only way you're going to learn. Reading in the books is fun. But if you're not applying what you read, if you're not experimenting what you read, you're not really fully diving into the scientific method. What did I just press? You're not really fully diving into the scientific method to say, yeah, I truly know this. This is truly in my 5th sphere. This is truly in my 8th sphere. I can truly judge this now. You got to tap into the God in you. God comes together and makes 8. 8 is Sebek. That's judgment. You are God. You have judgment inside of you. That we shouldn't not believe in ourselves, because when you buy into the illusion, it becomes real. It does become real. If you buy, like, okay, so if you look at the dollar, right? And the dollar, it says, in God we trust. It's a trust. You have to trust it in order for it to exist. If you look at anything in the law, it says it, in good faith. You have to have faith in the law. You have to have faith in all the things that they create for it to exist. Everything starts with the trust. The first trust was in the Bible. You have to trust it. You have to have faith. You have to believe in order for it to exist. If you don't believe in it, it doesn't exist. If you look at like the definition of debt notes, federal notes, and all that stuff like that, is based upon good faith. It's based upon belief. That's the way this law system is set up. The law system is based upon faith. Now, if you decide I don't believe it anymore, I don't subscribe to it anymore, it won't exist. But if you allow it to keep making decisions into your space and keep infiltrating the decisions you make about yourself and how you judge yourself and what you can and can't do, it'll continue to hinder you. So you got to make those decisions. When I talk to y'all, I'm talking to myself. I definitely am. Because it's time to enforce some shit, y'all. We finna, Adonis, you already know. It's time to enforce some shit. But I'm going to let y'all go at this 808 on 888. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. I appreciate y'all so much. So I'm going to let y'all go. Peace, y'all.